Craig just saw a leopard come straight down this marula tree and move off into the bushes there. So we're going to see if we can relocate. I didn't see it at all. Did you see it, Herbie?
Yeah.
We're not sure if it was... There it is, just in the long grass, looking straight at us. Just through these two bushes here, Craig. Punch in there. A little bit left. A little bit left. Yeah, there, straight in there. There he goes. Onto the termite mound. Not sure what leopard that is at all, but we've got it just moving around the back of the termite mound. Knowing Hukumuri, he loves termite mounds, but we're looking for a female that was moving in this area yesterday. I don't know if any of you folks saw that. I just saw the image of a leopard just sort of slither from the bushes there just to that termite mound. And it's on top of the termite mound, right on top. Herbie says you can see it looking at us. Yes, right on top in the middle, Craigo. That's it there. That's it right there. It's not actually looking at us, it's looking to the right. This is fantastic. Good morning everybody, welcome. We are here in the African bush in Djuma in the Sabi Sands, and we have just bumped a leopard on foot. It's just sitting on top of the termite. My name is Steve Falkenridge. I'm joined by Craig on camera. Let's see if you can see it. There's the leopard sitting on top of the termite mound, just behind that moving grass. Please feel free to send your comments in below. It's not looking at us, it's looking away. I wonder if you can see it nicely on the camera there. Just see the ears. Just hiding there in the long grass. This is fantastic. We're about 200 meters from camp. Craig saw this thing slither down from the tree, big marula tree. I hadn't seen it. It slithered across. It's just sitting on top of the termite mound there. Doesn't seem to be too bothered with us at the moment. It's looking off to the right-hand side. I can't even tell if it's a male or female. I have no idea. This is a leopard. This is live. This is happening right in the moment. Yes, Dina, this is absolutely fantastic. We just left camp. First thing in the morning, the sun's just starting to rise behind us, and the slithering, sleeky leopards of Djuma have already made themselves known to us. And this is Craig's first walk back on foot in Djuma in months and months. Sarah, I have no idea what leopard this is at the moment. I have no idea. I mean, I'm looking through my binoculars because I can't really see it very well with the camera. It looks like it's a male, but it's very hard to say right now. I'm going to ask Herbie what he thinks, but I don't think he got a good look either. Sassy says Craig's got bird eyes, eagle eyes. Of course you do, Craigo. Welcome back to Djuma. Hey, what are the chances? 200 meters from camp. Leopard on foot. Isn't that marvelous? Absolutely sensational. He doesn't seem to be too bothered with us. By the way he or she moved from the tree, it seemed as if it wasn't relaxed, but he's not looking at us. He's not too concerned. It looks to me like it might be Hukumuri, but I'm not going to put my faith in that because I can't really see. I don't know what your guys' views back home are on the camera. Craigo, how's it looking there? Not very clear. Hey? It's just hiding there in the long grass on top of the termite mound. Absolutely fantastic start to our morning. We are obviously not going to try and chase this animal on foot. Rather call one of the other game viewers to come in. They can view it quite safely with the vehicle. We're probably about 45 meters away from this animal. Dill, they blend in perfectly. Absolutely disappears on top of the mound there, and he thinks he's invisible to us, but I find it so amazing that he's not concerned by us on foot. Many of the leopards in the past that I've walked, many of the leopards that I've sort of seen on foot, especially if it's windy like this, they just disappear, absolutely disappear. And if they don't disappear, they'll hide in the grass and look at you. I've never been able to spend time looking at the back of a leopard's head while on foot. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're not sure what's going to happen here or what's going to unfold, but from an on-foot perspective, this is about as close as we're going to get. If you'd like to watch more of the live action, please feel free. Google us, Safari Live, come back. I'm sure there'll be a vehicle in the sighting in only a few minutes or so. We better get proper visuals of that animal. But from us on foot, we're going to move out of the area. Thank you for joining us and have a fantastic morning. They frame us. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We've got, I'm not sure who this is. I think Brent is coming in to join us live. He's going to be with us shortly. We can hear his vehicle. I have no doubt. Looks like Scotty D. Scotty, I'm just pointing to the termite mound. He's on top of the termite mound. Scotty, here comes Scott in from the back. He's got his roof on. We were potentially had rain yesterday. He's looking at us now, or she. I can't tell who it is, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely beautiful. Looks like a female to me now. Scotty, just on top of the termite mound, my friend. Tell us who that is. What a fantastic way to start the day. This is unbelievable. Folks, we're going to go over to Scott. He's going to get first-hand visuals. Let's go over to him.
Well, we've got some exciting news, everyone. We've just got into position, and well done to Steve and Herbie on finding this female leopard. I don't recognize her at first glance. It looks like it could be the Xidulu female, and we're hopefully going to get you some great views of them. And, oh, no, I haven't gotten the best spot here, have I? I need views with car a tiny bit. That's going to be a bit better, and hopefully we're going to be able to see the perspective of what the bushwalk team is looking in on. So let Steve know that we're going to be spying on him. Bex, can we see them on the other side of the mound? No, they're hidden by the mound. Oh, no. I really was hoping that we'd be able to get you a view of them. They're literally just on the other side. And I wonder if this is the Xidulu female. Who are you? I don't know exactly. She looks like quite a young female to me, actually. So I'm going to need your guys' help. Please send through any thoughts as to who you think she is. No wild guesses, preferably. But she's got a very distinctive spot pattern above her whiskers. I wonder, now we did have tracks of a female leopard in this area yesterday. Maybe it's her. I'm wondering if it's possibly not Barbara, a young female leopard who was kind of, is almost, oh, what has she seen there now? She's definitely not looking at the bushwalk team. I think she's looking at some food. What a beautiful scene this is on the mound with all those grass seeds blowing in the wind around her. Wonderful. I'm guessing she's spotted something out in that direction that she might want to snack on. So yeah, maybe I wonder if it's not Barbara or possibly the Xidulu female, another female that we've seen a couple of times in this kind of western portion of Djuma, but not too many times just yet. So I think I've only actually seen her once. Now, very good prospects for her hunting in this windy conditions, because it's going to make it easier for her to sneak up on her prey. I'm so sad we couldn't get that 2 shots of the bushwalk team. Michael, Andrew, and James, you saying, is this not Xidulu? Well, I don't know, but it could well be. It could well be. I just want to try and skirt ahead. This is going to be beautiful watching her slink through this long grass. Hold on, everybody. It's going to require me to just race around a little bit. No holes, please. No tree stumps, please. Looking good for now. Looking good for now. Okay. Now, I can't see anything, but she, I think, knows that there's something up ahead here. And again, we're going to get some beautiful views. She's on a mission, slinking through this long grass. How cool is this? What have you sensed in here? Epic stuff. I'm just going to call in on the Game Drive radio just to keep everyone updated as to what this leopard's up to. Stations, this female leopard is slowly mobile north towards the power lines from Zoe's. Wonderful. What have you seen in there? I've still got no idea. We're just going to have to kind of be patient in situations like this. And that's really interesting. I've just heard another update saying there's tracks of another female leopard in this area. And that's from Herbie and Steve on the bushwalk. So maybe that's what's going on. Maybe there's a dispute between two leopardess, or who knows, maybe this is young, not Barbara, trying to keep an eye on her mother Shadow, who may have gone off hunting ahead of her. A few possible options. Imagine if we see two leopardess kind of trying to work out their differences and lay claim to this area. It's a bit of a kind of unknown at the moment as to exactly who the dominant female is of this portion of Djuma. There have been a few recent shifts, mainly between the males. There's a new male pushing in to the area, pushing the old dominant male out, and that also will cause some females to kind of move out of the area, especially if they've got youngsters. They'll move out because they don't want that new male to cause any harm to them. So it may have opened up a little bit of a hole for another female to slip into. Well, I couldn't have hoped for a better way to be spending my last drive for the next little while here at Djuma than with a female leopard on the move. Maureen, you would like to know, how do you tell the difference between the various leopards that we see out here? And basically, I mean, all of their spot patterns are different. And some people are really good at just looking at the leopards and noticing the subtle differences in the spots and the way the patterns are made up. But yeah, you can look at basically any section of spots on a given leopard and be able to determine whether or not it is that leopard by just looking at old photographs and kind of double checking. She's gone up onto a termite mound to get a bit of a vantage point now, so this is going to be another beautiful scene. And I'm told that there is a large majority of our wonderful viewers that are agreeing that it is the Xidulu female. So through democratic votes, we'll stick with that for now, unless anybody can provide us with some conclusive evidence that it is in fact her. Well, lots of action going on. I've just heard over the Game Drive radio that there's tracks of a male leopard heading along our northern boundary from kind of Buffelshoek Dam. Could well be a male called Djuma. He likes to move along that kind of route or pathway. I'm really surprised that there are tracks of another female that Herbie's got you. Unless she's been kind of up and down hunting in this area. Hard to be certain that it isn't guaranteed another female. But even yesterday we did have definitely tracks of two females that converged on one another. She definitely is looking quite nervous. Maybe it's the wind. Maybe it's the fact that she's hungry and not wanting to take any chances that she's looking so focused. Well, what an exciting start to the day. We had to drop the clutch to rush over here. And why don't we send you guys back on to Steve so you can give him and Herbie another round of applause for their great work this morning. And they've also would like to show you the other set of tracks that they're busy looking at. Yes, we still are. She's been giving us a bit of a runaround. There was a duiker that she spotted and ran off after, but it seemed like the duiker got the better of her. We actually lost her in the long grass, but the other vehicle that has joined us in this sighting helped us to relocate her. And I'm feeling lucky this morning. She is on a mission, and again, in this strong wind, she's got very, very favorable hunting conditions. Very difficult for the prey to detect her slinking up on her, both her audio of her footsteps as well as any visuals of her body, because with all the grass blowing in the wind, her movement will be kind of masked by that. She's a beautiful female, very distinctive scar next to her right eye, so that would be something that you could look at to try and make sure that it is the Xidulu female from any previous sightings of her. Or you could always check out their Facebook page. Often there's quite a few of our stars of the Sabi Sands have got their own Facebook page. So if you took a screenshot of her now and compared that to any pictures or any other pictures of them, you could very quickly work out and confirm that it is her. Now, another thing you could look at is just above her kind of whisker line on her. Oh, well, now it's going to be tricky because she's moving. But it looked like she's got a 5-5 spot pattern. It looks like there's 5 spots on the right-hand side of her muzzle and 5 spots on the left-hand side of her muzzle, just above those main black dotted lines that the whiskers poke out of. Beautiful. So she's obviously trying to work out where this duiker's gone. I've got no idea. But I think that's what she's trying to work out. Oh, well, thanks very much, Judy, who's just confirmed that the Xidulu female does have a 5-5 spot pattern. Well, then it's looking more and more likely then that we are, in fact, or you guys are all correct, those of you who guessed it to be the Xidulu female. Now, I'm thinking what we're going to try and do is... There's just a tiny little gap, Darby. It looks like she might be stalking. She's just stopped just over there. Well done. But again, she'll be getting confused with all the wind and the rustles. She won't know if the rustles she's hearing is an animal she's wanted to stalk or merely the leaves blowing in the wind. As I was saying, though, I think we might try and actually take off our roof. It seems like the weather's clearing. There was a few spots of rain before we headed out. And if she does continue off into this thicker vegetation, it's going to be tricky for us to actually follow her with the roof on. So I think we might actually just back up out of the sighting quickly while we've still got a chance to. And we don't want to interfere in whatever it is she's getting up to. And Davy and I will take off this roof, get it out the way. Putting my hand out to see if I'm not feeling any tiny little drops of rain, and I think I might be, but it's nothing too serious. So I think we'll be able to... It'll make sense to take the roof off. El Toro, you'd like to know why is it that the Sabi Sands is such a great place for leopard viewing? Well, I mean, it's a good habitat for them in terms of the vegetation, lots of food as well, lots of good trees for them to... kind of run up and hide in. The marula tree is a perfect tree for them to escape into, to hoist their kills into. So yeah, there's a few good reasons, I guess, as to why it's a great place to view leopards. But the most important thing is that they are habituated to the vehicles, so they are relaxed with our presence and actually allow us to view them before they slink off like they do in a lot of other areas. Okay, very good. We're going to take the roof off quickly, and while we do that, we're going to send you across to Steve. yes, we've thankfully got our roof off, and we are back with this lovely female leopard, who I'm really looking forward to spending the morning with. She's still kind of slinking about here, trying to work out where this small antelope called a duiker is headed off to. But as much as these conditions are favorable to the leopard in many regards, with regards to the hunting, it can also be a little bit tricky with not trying to work out where her food is run off to. And it's kind of, it'd be interesting to know if she's trying to follow the scent trail, or if she's just going on her gut feeling. But very, very nice area for her to be slinking through. Okay, now if any of you guys are joining for the first time, if you've just stumbled upon us, I must reiterate that we are live and that you can also interact with us. So please send through questions or comments or thoughts as to how you're feeling. I'm feeling very excited and very lucky that we've got off to such a wonderful start on the safari. I haven't been listening to too many of the updates because I've been racing around, and I'd be surprised if Hosanna, the leopard that Brent is for, has finished that kill. I popped in there late yesterday evening, and it seemed like there was a decent remaining to, and you know, enough for him to still be there in the morning, finishing off the scraps. But it doesn't sound like Brent's had any luck just yet. To be honest, I'm secretly hoping for him not to get distracted with Hosanna and be able to... Oh no, I did hear an update. I think he said Tundi crossed out. I was hoping he was going to get lucky and try and track down Tundi, because he hasn't seen her in her little cut. So I was hoping that he was going to get lucky with that this morning, as I'm sure a lot of you were as well. Be truthful, you'd like to know how far away are we from kind of Tundi and Cub and where we last saw them. Well, let me show you on the map quickly, because that'll be the best way to explain things. So the big white area is Djuma, and Tundi's been hanging around this area of Djuma, the eastern half of it, and further east into a property where we cannot traverse, and also further south into another area where we cannot traverse. So this is the kind of area, this whole western front. Whereas here with the Xidulu female, she only spends time on the eastern side. And the first time we saw her was here with Tristan in the southeastern corner, and now we are currently up over here in this area. So quite far away from where Tundi and her cub are. This is actually a very similar area to where we saw Tundi and Shadow when Tundi was trying to steal Shadow's kill. They're two sisters, actually. Yeah, she's coming back to you there, it looks like. Just keeping the other vehicle updated as to what she's doing so it doesn't unnecessarily kind of come off road or go into the wrong spot. Oh, seems like we've just got stuck on this little stump temporarily there. Okay. So yeah, that's quite interesting, I guess, that Tundi and Shadow were both seen in this same area not so long ago. Dina, you'd like to know if there's a kind of dispute between female leopards. Will the females salivate, kind of like the males do when they get worked up? I guess, yes, there will be times when they are very worked up that they will salivate and kind of froth at the mouth. It's not something that I've ever seen, though. But that's because I've never seen female leopards interacting and fighting with one another. So, yeah, I think that's definitely a reality as to what could happen. Trying to work out which our best route is now. I mean, I'm trying to think back to when Tundi and Shadow were together, like I said, not far from here.
but there was no salivating, even though they were quite worked up, so to speak. But I guess maybe because they're sisters, they weren't feeling as kind of worked up as they could have been had they have not known one another. Very good. Well, I know, like I said, I haven't seen the female leopards fighting, but why don't we send you across to Steve if he's been so lucky?
Well, all we can see is that she has seen something. We haven't seen a thing, but you can see the way she's slinking around, that she feels that there's something in there, maybe a scrub hare. I wonder, but she's certainly doing a great job slinking through the grass, and she could pounce at any second. So be ready for that. What is going on in there? Or is it just the rustling wind that's confused her? Again, I'm not too sure exactly what's going on here, but let's give it a moment or two to see if we can't work out what exactly it is. I'm kind of torn whether we should invite on some extra passengers to enjoy this excitement, or if it would be a bit of a false alarm. Let's take a gamble. Let's invite on board some other people, just so we can share the magic here. And I guess the bottom line is she's slinking through the glass, and she could pounce on whatever it is that she's detected here at any moment. Hello everyone. Welcome to this live safari broadcast. We are coming to you from South Africa in the Sabi Sands. As you can see, there's another vehicle enjoying this leopard sighting with us. It's a female leopard who we've been with for about half an hour. And we've got a feeling she's hunting something in the long grass. Here she comes towards us now. She's been sneaking around this bush, sniffing and listening very carefully. And we're not too sure exactly what it is she's detected. But it's wonderful hunting conditions. Because of this windy morning, it allows her to sneak around with less chance of being detected, both by her footsteps being heard, as well as any of her kind of movements slinking through the grass will be masked by the grass blowing in the wind. We don't know this female leopard too well. She's new to this area. She seems to be establishing her territory here in the kind of western portions of our reserve. And as you notice, she walked right behind that other vehicle. She's not concerned by us, and that's because of lots of very gentle habituation of these animals over many, many years. It's allowed them to be comfortable with the fact that we are just spectators. We don't get in the way, we don't hurt them, we don't feed them, we don't help them, and by doing that, it has allowed us the most incredible insights into their lives. I've just heard a very exciting update over the radio that 3 male lions are not too far from here, and it looks like they could be thinking about hunting a herd of buffalo. So I'm hoping our other vehicle that's out this morning, Brent, has copied that update, because he needs to race over there to make sure we try and cover as much action as possible. It's actually interesting because it's 3 young male lions that we've never actually seen before. They too, like this female leopard, are quite new to the area, and are also probably trying to establish themselves a territory here. Angela, you would like to know, what is she hunting? And we saw a small antelope moving through this area earlier called the duiker. It's about half the size of her, and it might be what she's still looking out for. However, like most predators, they'll take whatever opportunities present themselves to her, because it's difficult for them to catch their prey, and she'll take a variety of different prey species down, mainly antelope, but even birds, reptiles like big lizards, snakes. So very adaptable, very versatile hunters. Sarah, you would like to know which leopard is this, and she's a leopard known as the Xidulu female. And a Xidulu is a termite mound, and she obviously likes lounging about on the termite mounds, and that's exactly where the bushwalk team actually found her on foot this morning, and then we raced her in the vehicle to establish the sighting. So, very exciting stuff. Joan, you'd like to know, why do leopards have that white spot on the back of their ears as well as kind of the back of their tail? And there's a number of kind of theories. One of them is that it's a follow me signal for any of her youngsters that are following behind her as she walks through the bush. Every time her ears flick, and also that little white tip of the back of her tail means it's easy for them to kind of follow her as she moves. I'm not hugely convinced by that theory, because I think the youngsters will be capable of following, and I just think it's through default that her whole undercarriage is white, even her belly and the underside of her tail, and it's simply because there's not a major necessity for it to be dark, because that part of her body while she is stalking is not really visible. Well, we're going to give you guys one more view of her, seeing as though she's no longer stalking whatever we thought she was in a little bush earlier. And if you would like to continue following the safari, you're welcome to just Google Safari Live. We're still going to be out for a couple of hours this morning, and it's wonderful to have as many of you guys on board as possible. So feel free to hop on board. Otherwise, just keep tuned in to the notifications for the next exciting update that we will send to you live from the African wilderness. We'll see you next time. Okay, guys. Well, we need to rush you across to Steve. He's got something that's trying to flee the scene. I'm not too sure why Steve thought our roof was back on, but it isn't. Not that it makes a huge difference. So, this leopardess is slinking through some... Ooh, I'm going to get a great two-shot here. She's heading straight towards a kudu, actually. There's a kudu just behind her in the thickets. Oh, it's a very, very big antelope that would be far too big for a female leopard to take down. There she is. But maybe she's got a youngster here somewhere nearby. And that would certainly be suitable prey for this leopard. I wonder if there are any youngsters here. Now, for now, the kudu doesn't know that she's here. Look at her little tail twitching with excitement. And I don't even know if the leopard knows that the kudu's here yet either. But the leopard seems to be looking at something closer by in the grass. Put your tail down, otherwise you're going to get spotted. Oh, no, the kudu's going to spot you with your tail up like that. And then we'll expect to hear some loud barking alarm calls. Put your tail down. Oh. Yeah, I'm almost certain the kudu's going to spot you imminently. Let me reverse a little bit. Oh, the leopard went running off after something in the opposite direction towards where the kudu went, and we have got our work cut out for us now. The kudu are alarming wildly at the leopard. I'm trying to find a little gap where we can try and snipe in through this thick bush to try and catch up with the leopard, but it's going to be tricky. The fact that the kudu are still alarm calling is making me wonder if she didn't maybe actually catch one. There's a chance maybe she singled out a youngster. The kudu are alarming quite persistently. And you tend to find that when a predator does catch a member of a herd, that their alarm calls will be definitely more intense than if the predator misses.
So who knows, maybe she did get lucky. She ran quite a long distance, bounding through the long grass. Let's just stop here for a second. Listen to that kudu. Boom. Okay, no sign of the leopard immediately. Let me keep moving though. I've got a feeling I know where we've got to get to. And it's around this big thicket over here. This is where we last kind of saw heading in towards. Oof. It's a tricky spot this. There's massive logs everywhere. But we should be able to make it. Oh, no. Maybe not as easily as I thought. They're all good. We've made it through. Chitty Chatty Megs, you'd like to know where is this female from? I'm not actually too sure where she's from. I don't know too much about her history nor how old she is, so if any of you would like to send through any info on that, it would be hugely appreciated. Why are these kudu still barking? Has she got lucky? Or is it just that she's still slinking around them? I'm going to try and catch up with those kudu. They're just around the corner here. And wherever they are looking will be obviously where they think she is, where she could still be. That's prospects for Steve. Imagine finding a leopard on foot to start your morning and then having the joy of snooping around a herd of elephants. We've had no joy relocating old Xidulu after she went tearing off after possibly a young kudu or maybe some other antelope that were nearby those kudu. And I'd just like to show you kind of on the map what's happened here. Initially she was found over here, and then her direction of movement's been north, across Vuyatela access, and it was just after she crossed this road that she went darting off into the bush into kind of this direction over here. Now, the only road that's nearby towards where she was kind of roughly heading is Aubrey's Road. So we've driven around and we're probably waiting somewhere on this little corner here. Just hoping that she may continue in this general direction and pop out here. There's a nice big termite mound that you could come and use as a vantage point. So yeah, rather than kind of wildly just off-roading frantically with the very slim chance of finding her, I thought maybe it would be better just to kind of stay put here and listen, and hopefully we'll get lucky with some audio of other animals alarm calling at her as she goes about her business, or maybe we'll just get lucky as she continues in this general direction. I haven't heard any further updates as to what exactly is going on with these 3 young male lions and a herd of buffalo that I told you about briefly. I think Brent is trying to get into that area, but it is just north of our northern boundary. We would have been able to snipe some views from our northern boundary, but it all depends on exactly where the commotion's going on. And you'll be glad to know that Brent has got some signal in the area of the lions, but he just can't see the lions, sadly. We've got incredibly lucky, and we did a further kind of loop around, and we've managed to pick her up. She's just scent marked, which is wonderful to see, that she is laying claim to this little section of Djuma. And how awesome that we've got this young 3.5-year-old female busy setting up shop here on Djuma, and who knows, maybe she's already carrying her a little litter of cubs. I'm not sure if she has given birth in the past, but this could well be, again, just speculations that she is in fact pregnant. We did have tracks of her and the Hukumuri male, the new male of this area, slinking about together, and maybe they were in fact mating. And imagine if in a few months' time, after their 3-month gestation, we get to see some new tiny little leopard cubs. And Patrick, you were just asking if she has been seen mating. Not confirmed that we know of, but good reason to believe that she has. She's definitely of the right age now to becoming sexually active. And very, very good prospects for some more fluff balls to be gracing us with their presence in the coming months. Puma, you'd like to know if she's feeling confident here because Hukumuri's kind of laying claim to the territory. To be honest, it's not going to make a big difference to her. Because she doesn't have any cubs, she's going to feel equally comfortable with any males that may be in the area. It's only once she's given birth that she'll start being concerned as to which male is dominant over her kind of patch. But yeah, it's the area that she's occupying is quite well suited from what we've seen, because it will fall into only the Hukumuri male's turf. She may kind of just touch into the Djuma male's territory as well, just north of our northern kind of boundary. But again, we haven't seen too much of her, so we don't know exactly how far her territory stretches just yet. Veronica, you would like to know how long are leopards pregnant for, and it's about a 3-month gestation period, so about 90 to 100 days. And it's nice and short, and what that means is that if they are unfortunate and do lose cubs, they can come into season shortly after they get lost and then give birth, again, within a relatively short period of time. She's looking very hungry. You can see her stomach is completely empty. And I'm hoping that she gets lucky in securing a meal while we are alongside her. Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing to share with you guys? Great. Well, we're going to stay with her and send you across. Well, good luck, Brent, and I'm feeling confident that you'll do just that. Not too sure, again, what has got her attention. I'm guessing she may have smelt something here. It's simply too thick for her to have been able to hear or see anything in here. But she's definitely slinking about, and who knows what it is that is causing her to be so focused and intent here. Possibly a scrub hare, possibly a small antelope like a dyke or a steenbuck. I wonder when last she had a meal. Because it definitely doesn't look like any time too recently. I don't want to move the vehicle. Not the best views now. But let's just stay put there. She's on the move again. Jenny, you would like to know if any of the big cats may have a better sense of smell than the others here. Not that I'm aware of. But yeah, it would be interesting to know if, there is a kind of difference between lion, leopard, and cheetah. I'm sure they're all quite similar. Yeah, she's slowly edging forward. What could it be in here? It's, again, just incredible testament to how good their senses are. It's so thick. And the road that she was on earlier is about 30 or 40 feet behind us. And the fact that she could detect something from that distance and kind of narrow down and start fine-tuning her search, just using her nose, I'm guessing, is quite remarkable. She's definitely looking poised and ready to pounce. And I've got no idea what it is that it could be just up ahead of her there. What have you spotted, Xidulu? She's very definitely trying to be as quiet as possible, slinking ahead. And the wind is kind of blowing towards us, towards her. So, perfect conditions. I'm guessing that's what's allowing her to use the
prevailing wind to work out where this thing could be. Let's move forward a little bit and see if we can't get a better view. It's always a bit of a fine balance trying to work out where to in the vehicle in a situation like this, but we're doing our best, and we're actually going to have to do quite a big loop around. So while we do that, we'll send you back across. Yes, she's making our lives quite interesting this morning, and very, very, I think, fortunate to have this challenge to keep up with her as she goes about her business. Nothing better than having one of the big cats on the move, especially considering how much time they spend sleeping every day. This is absolutely pure gold. And it looks like she could well come and slink straight past us here. Shame, Xidulu, not too much food evident here. But again, it is thick, so we could be pleasantly surprised at any moment. Lynn, you'd like to know, why does the leopard hold its tail up so high when it's walking? I've been quite surprised that she was doing that. Usually leopards will do that once they have been seen, and once animals start alarm calling, they almost kind of put their tail up as a form of a surrender, just to say, guys, I'm not trying to hide. Here I am, I'm just going from A to B, stop shouting at me. At least that's a theory as to why they do that. How cool is this? Slinking right in front of the vehicle. And yeah, I was surprised that she was holding her tail quite high up when she was moving earlier. Not too sure why she did that. Doesn't make perfect sense. There you are. Nice big fluffy tail. Now, there is another vehicle joining us in the sighting. They're going to have a tricky time negotiating this thick bush with their bigger vehicle, so I'm just going to have to chat with them on the radio and just let them know exactly where we are. I can hear his vehicle approaching. Abel, I've got your audio. Keep coming. So, Pauline, you'd like to know, how big can female leopards get? Well, 50 to 60 kilograms would be considered quite a big female leopard. I'm guessing she's probably around 40 odd. Abel, we're directly west of you now in the block. So yeah, she's still got some growing to do. I'm sure by the time she's about 5 or 6 years old, she'll be in her prime. So she's got a little bit more growing to do. And again, it will depend on the area that you're in. Leopard sizes can vary quite greatly depending on exactly where they are. And of course the genes. Even in this area, you'll get leopards of varying sizes, both male and female. Sorry, Abel, go again. She's kind of turned a little bit more west now, but she's moving very slowly. Yeah, maybe just stand by for a few minutes and I'll update you as to what she decides to do. She's stationary for the time being, but planning a move. Shame, always a little bit tricky in situations like this. The poor guide he initially was rushing to join us, and then we lost her, and then he decided to go into another area. Then we relocated her, and then he was kind of umming and ahhing because he was quite... Welcome everyone, apologies for being rushed away from Brent. He obviously lost his signal, and we're still just keeping a beady eye on this leopard. She seems to be keeping a beady eye on something just ahead of her. Again, I'm not sure if she's detected anything for certain, but she's definitely kind of increased her focus. No, she seems to be at ease again.
again, it's very easy for her to get confused in this windy conditions, because anything she might think is prey moving could just be leaves blowing in the wind. So any kind of movement like that might catch her attention might be false alarm. Abel, she is heading straight towards Aubrey's now. We're not too far away. Yeah, good idea. So he said he's going to take one more chance. He's already taken 2 chances this morning. And I'm hoping his 3rd chance is going to put him in a position where him and his guests get lucky. Now the rain is beginning to fall here, which is going to complicate things slightly. We may have to try and get out our raincoats to cover everything up. But for now, we are kind of okay. It's just a light kind of pitter-patter, so nothing too serious. But of course we've got lots of fancy equipment that makes it possible to keep you guys alongside us every step of the way, and we don't want to take any chances in frying any of that equipment. Okay, let's keep moving. When she moves, we move. And so we got so lucky in relocating her. I'd kind of given up hope, just taking one last ditch attempt where we could get lucky. Very good. Well, we're going to keep doing our best to stay with this fine lady and send you back over to Brent, who's managed to get some signal with the elephants. Well, we're okay for now. We've just covered up the essential bits and pieces and just got another view of her. She's just kind of behind that log over there, Davy. Well done. And I'm just trying to keep this other poor vehicle updated as to what's going on here, because she was so close to popping out onto a road. Now she's just changed directions again. Abel, sadly, she seems to be heading back east. It looks like she might be following something here. You can see the way she's moving, that she's got a feeling that something's here. What are you slinking off after? Kind of backwards and forwards through this vegetation. Oh, there's a hyena on the scene. Can you believe it? And I think she's just gone straight up a tree. She's taken a kill up a tree. What next? What next? Now, is there another leopard here? Because she's got some meat and she's just taken it up a tree. I can't believe it. She couldn't have caught that now. Abel, she's just taken some Djuma up a tree here. What next? Now, I just can't even comprehend what's just happened. Because she couldn't have just made the kill. I mean, we just saw her trying to kill something, but she's managed to take a carcass of sorts. It must be some scraps that she was smelling. And who knows, maybe the hyena that was on the scene was busy feeding on that kill. Incredible stuff. Now, sadly, it's very thick here. Which way is going to be our best route in? Okay, it's going to take us a while to get there. Hold on a second. Okay. Squeeze tight, everybody. Oh. Now, while we squeeze through here, we're going to send you across to Brent's. And I'm not too sure what's going on with him. As you can see, we're in a bit. Yes, we have just got into position. And it looks like she's just getting comfortable, doing some grooming after that exciting few moments. I still don't understand what's happened here. I mean, has a leopard just stolen a kill from a hyena? It would appear so, because this is definitely not her doing. And you can see it's clearly been fed on by something else. And as she kind of pounced and moved forward, oh, here's the hyena in front of us, Dave. This hyena came running onto the scene. And was it just coincidence that they both stumbled upon this carcass simultaneously?
I don't know, it doesn't make sense. A hyena like this would be able to consume that whole duiker just about in one sitting. So I do not know what has happened here. Is there another leopard that's fled the scene? Excuse me. Who knows, but we're in luck. We've got a leopard up a tree with a decent amount of this duiker kill remaining. And I'm sure she's just going to catch her breath. It would have required quite a lot of exertion and excitement and adrenaline as she found the kill. They got chased by the hyena all in a matter of seconds. She would have to run about 25 meters to get to this tree and then haul the kill up it. And she now knows full well that she can just relax. There's no rush. And I'm sure once she's done a little bit of grooming, she's going to start snacking. Danny, you'd like to know if leopards are always looking for prey. And yes, I think it is fair to say that. I think it's fair to say just about all of the most of the predators around the world are always looking for a meal because it's difficult for them to catch their prey. And again, all predators are highly opportunistic. Leopard are quite well known for having multiple kills, which indicates that even if they've got one kill and a full belly, if another opportunity presents itself, they'll be sure to do their best to take it and capitalize on those moments when they can get lucky. Well, I'm so happy that you've found a meal, even though you didn't have to catch it yourself. I'm sure you've had enough kills stolen from you in your life so far. And it's nice for the tables to turn. And I'm sure Abel, the guide who was thinking about leaving this area, is happy that he decided to take one last chance, because now he's getting to show his guests this epic scene. Excuse moi. You've also been lucky with rain. There's still a very gentle pitter-patter, but nothing that's going to cause any damage to the vehicle, or more importantly, the fancy equipment on it. I'm surprised she's taking so much time grooming, considering how hungry she looked. I thought she would have done less grooming and more scoffing. But again, that is the joy of spending time with these animals. They very often surprise you, and we may think we have an idea of what they're likely to do, but very often they prove us wrong. Now, what is interesting is that, and I've just remembered now that I saw a bataleur momentarily while we were off-roading, and I didn't pay too much attention to it, but I can just see it over there. I'm not sure how good your view is going to be. We're going to require some luck because there's some bushes in the way, but hopefully with the wind blowing, they'll blow out of shot. But there you can see the bataleur sitting around. So this bataleur knew that there was a carcass here. And I'm really hoping we might get visuals of another leopard that may slink onto the scene. It doesn't make sense, though. That actually doesn't make sense because, I mean, unless, again, it was just chance that the hyena came onto the scene as soon as this leopard found and stole it from maybe another leopard and then took it up a tree. But had the other leopard have known that there was a hyena here, it surely would have done the same thing that this leopard's done now. I'm sure she's keeping an eye on the hyena. It looks like she's keeping a beady eye on something. But either way, this is... Sorry, Brent's signal's a bit shaky. But happy to have you back here. And again, I'm just astonished that she's not wanting to snack on her newly found meal. I still haven't been able to come up with any kind of theories as to exactly what's happened here. Well, I'm not confident that in what actually went down here, but it really is fascinating. I mean, the hyena, I haven't had a great look at it, but it definitely doesn't look like it's been feeding on this kill. So what has been? Something's been eating it. Something must have caught it and killed it, and even if it died of natural causes, I mean, what was eating it and why did it not eat all of it? It's a fully grown male duiker. They're not big antelope, even when they are fully grown. And
she's done a great job ensuring that she gets it high up into the canopy of this marula tree. Nothing's going to get to it up there. And I guess maybe that's why she's just so confident in being able to relax and rest and snooze until that, I guess, she gets hungry. She's had a busy morning. Maybe she just wants to snooze before breakfast. Good. It sounds like Steve has found some beauty on the ground. Yes, I'm eating a glorious peach. And that in the background is a glorious leopard. What a wonderful scene. Now, you've come at a good time because she's been glancing up at her possible snack, and I'm confident that she's going to make a move and start feasting very shortly. She's been kind of staring up at it for the last few seconds, just like she's doing now. And here she goes. Come on. No, what you waiting for? Very ladylike. Oh, here we go. Not rushing in and gobbling up her meal. She's being very delicate. Jamie, you would like to know why I think she would like to groom before feasting. I'm guessing it's kind of something to kind of bide the time while she was catching her breath after exerting quite a bit of energy dragging this kill up the tree. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure what's taken her so long. I'm quite surprised it's taken her so long, to be honest. But yeah, I think, the most likely reason is she just wanted to catch her breath. And again, she does know full well that there's very little risk of anything going wrong now that it's up the tree. Well, she's going to probably try and position the kills so that she can access some meat easily. So it sometimes requires them to kind of rearrange the dinner table a little bit. And she doesn't seem like she's in too much of an awkward spot there. There's been no further sign of the hyena, but I'm sure it is still lurking around. And Puma, you've mentioned that this lady is better at scaling trees than Hosanna. Well, I'll take your word for it. I haven't seen Hosanna scale too many trees myself, but she definitely did fly up this tree with incredible speed and agility. Not that I actually saw it, we just heard her footsteps and the kind of carcass dragging against the trunk of the tree as she took it up. Let me see if I can move forward a little bit so I can actually see her face. That'll probably be enough just there. What on earth caught and killed this duiker? And as you can possibly tell from the little raindrops hitting the lens, the pitter-patter weather is continuing now. So every now and then Dave might have to get the old manual windscreen wiper out. It'd be nice if it gets to a stage that we get camera companies that just custom build us our cameras so that they're waterproof, that they've got windscreen wipers, that they've got auto leveling machines within them so that the cameraman doesn't have to manually level every time we stop the car. But with the way technology is going, things are only going to get better, and the experience that we can share with you is only going to get better, and that is the great thing about these live safaris. I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's still in its infancy, this product and experience, and we're learning every day we are here, and we're also getting lots of new toys as the geniuses around the globe put their minds together to make some fancy equipment and technology which just allows us to do our jobs better and get you guys closer into the action. The raindrops are getting a little bit harder now. You might even be able to hear the gentle pitter-patter. My peach is getting wet. Not that that's an issue. I guess so is the leopard, but she's not going to be too bothered by this little bit of rain. It's nothing too serious. Top mod, yes, a male leopard would certainly climb up the tree and chase her away if he came across her. Male leopards are notorious from stealing from the ladies, even if it is their girlfriends. It's just one of the ways of the wild. Dave's trying to delicately position a rain cover over the camera now, so you might hear some rustling, and we're obviously moving around a little bit in the vehicle, so apologies for that, but there's no ways around it. We've got to do what we can to keep everything dry. Cape turtle dove calling off, not too far off. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And isn't it interesting, Steve, who's not too far away, is thankfully not getting rained on. So why don't you head across to him while we make a few small changes to our rain cover setup over here. Yes, we have been kind of backwards and forwards. We thought about going and putting on the rain covers, but then the rain stopped, so we decided to rather come back here and show you as much of this wonderful leopard as we possibly can. And she's still just slowly nibbling away on her breakfast. I'm still perplexed as to what and how this all went down, but happy it ended up the way it did. She was looking for a meal and she found one, even though she didn't actually have to make the kill herself. I mean, if there was another leopard here, surely it would have hung around, and surely there'd be some hissing and snarling between the two, so I don't know, maybe the hyena had stolen this kill from another leopard somewhere and was kind of moving around with it and just thought it would take a break, and while it was snoozing nearby, the leopard sniped it from the unsuspecting hyena. But again, even that theory is not completely perfect, because don't drop your kill, I'm sure that hyena is lurking below, because the hyena just doesn't look like it was well fed at all, the brief glimpses we got of it. Well, she certainly is going to be well fed by the time she's finished her breakfast, and I'm confident she's going to still be here this evening. Quite a lot of meat remaining here, so good prospects for the sunset safari. Yeah, they've got the easiest, most comfortable spot. And that carcass is quite kind of long and gangly, so it also makes it difficult for her to position the kill in a way that she can access whatever part she's wanting to chew on with ease. She does know full well if that kill does drop from the tree, she could well lose it to the hyena that I'm guessing is lurking below. We positioned ourselves not too close to her, but in the hope that we would get some clear views from this angle of her snacking. And you can see there's quite a lot of bush between us and the base of that tree. Patrick, you'd like to know why I don't think the hyena killed the striker on its own? A hyena can hunt. They certainly can. And they can be quite effective hunters. But the prey that they'll be hunting will be quite specific. Oh, I wonder why she's going down. So, and I think a duiker is simply just too fast and slight for a hyena to take down. I really didn't expect it to come down the tree now, and we're not in the best spot to enjoy that happening, sadly. Whoops. Let's see what she's up to. So yeah, I just don't think a hyena would have been able to chase down a prey item like this on its own. an adult duiker would be far too streetwise for a hyena to take down. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just an old, injured duiker that the hyena kind of saw a gap and could have hunted itself. The main thing, the reason why I don't think the hyena was involved in the hunting and or feeding on it is it just didn't look like it had fed much on it. So, or at all really, there was no blood on its mouth, its belly didn't look full. Huh. Wow. I've got no idea where the leopard's gone. Let me ask Abel if he can see it, one of the other vehicles in the sighting. Abel, can you see her? Okay, copy, thanks. So apparently she is just sitting at the kind of base of the marula tree. She obviously wasn't too comfortable up there and thought she'd come down onto the level ground where it will be far more comfortable for her just to rest and relax. She hasn't had that much to eat, and again, I'm surprised because she was looking really, really hungry. She's only been feeding for about 5 or 10 minutes. So I'm not sure what's going on really. Maybe she's got toothache. So she's not chewing as much as I would have expected her to. I'm only kidding. I don't think that's a plausible theory. And it's just so thick here that getting around and another view will be a little bit tricky, but it will or should be possible. Let me see if I can't sneak us through a little gap here. Okay, well, it sounds like Daryl has decided to move on from Brent, and why don't we send you back to see what Brent's next plans are.